hot comic book movie news, shooting up your butthole. The Weekly Planet, the Weekly Planet.
Welcome back, everybody, to another episode of the Weekly Planet, where we talk movies and comics and TV shows. My name is James, also known as Mr. Sunday, and with me, as always, and thank God, is my co-host Nick Mason.
It's great to be here on the Weekly Planet! Exclamation point, not
What?
Question mark.
Oh, really?
That's what you said.
I would never.
You definitely know what show you're doing every time you hit the record button, right?
That is true. Though sometimes when I do my other less successful podcast with my wife Suggestible, I call her
Your
Mason.
wife Suggestible?
My wife Suggestible, yeah. I call her Mason and Suggestible.
And not, okay, there we go. We've found the level.
That's
this
right.
Is great.
We're recording this one a little bit early, as we sometimes do, because I'll be away this weekend. So if we miss any big news, just know it's because we knew about it and we decided not to include it.
That's exactly correct.
That's
And
how
any
we do
other time
things.
we might miss out on any news, it's not because we don't have any powers of observation or we're not on top of everything. We're 100% on top of anything. We just recorded early.
Yeah, exactly. That's right. Mason.
Even if we said we recorded late. That was a joke.
Did
that
you?
We did.
Do you want to hear the topics of the week?
I would love to hear the topics of the week.
Okay. So we're going to talk about the retiring of a cinematic legend,
Oh.
a new adaptation of the Green Hornet.
Oh.
Maybe some exciting news, I think, for some Star Wars live action stuff coming up.
My goodness.
What's his name? What's that stupid guy with the lion vest?
Kraven.
Kraven.
That was going to
Yeah.
be my one bit of news. Maybe I'll sneak it in
could
quick.
still be your one bit of
I
news
love
if you
it.
are so inclined.
He's a stupid man with a stupid lion vest.
I want to quickly talk about some Multiverse of Madness stuff that was revealed because it's now on streaming, Mason.
Mm-hmm.
The Thor Love and Thunder reactions.
Ooh.
My goodness. What else?
React-na-rock, they should call
That's
it.
good. And also what's going to be happening in Marvel Phase 4. And then we're going to be talking a bit about the Umbrella Academy, seeing as I've watched all of it and Mason has watched some of it.
I've watched
Is that
some
correct?
of it. That's correct, yeah.
That's right. But if you wanted Mason to watch all of it, that's my fault because I pushed this forward. So, just if you want if anyone's upset about Mason not watching all of Umbrella Academy, including you, Mason,
James's fault.
direct all hate towards weeklyplanetpod@gmail.com, which is my official.
No, that's where I read those emails. You don't read any of the emails. James, direct them at somebody else.
Yeah, direct them at
Somebody
anybody.
we don't know.
Yeah, that's right. Your boss. Now, Mason, there are time codes below, aren't there?
Yes.
If people want to jump around because Rob Collins, who edits this, always does that. What a wonderful job he's done. Let's start with this via the Washington Post. After, this is going well, after 6+ decades.
Your brain is going, okay, after this, got to put on the Washington
Yeah.
Post website.
Oh, shit, you just reminded me. Hang on, I'll be right back.
Are you actually putting the
There's
washing
something I
on?
need to put on before
Oh
I
my
go.
God, this is unprecedented. Can you believe he's putting on the washing over putting on the content? He's having some sort of conversation with his wife. Could be an argument. He's back. He's coming back. It's all right. Now, James, I know
I forgot something.
you didn't actually put the washing on.
No,
You
I
simply
told Claire to
your
put-
wife to do
yes.
something.
Well, that counts, doesn't it?
That counts,
We're a
yes.
unit.
That's
I
true.
do a lot of the washing, just to clarify. I'm a very housework-focused husband. You know that show House Husbands?
No.
It's made up, but it's about me.
Okay.
Yeah, sure, I'm sure there's a hoe called House.
There's
I'm sure
definitely
there's
a
a
show,
hoe.
yeah.
I'm sure there's a... Let's just do the show, Mason.
Okay.
Enough with your distractions.
I bet there's 10 shows called House Husbands, and
Yeah.
there's some are reality shows, and some are about what do these husbands get up to when their wives are away? Oh, they're in the bloody man cave and they're
No doubt.
drinking a brewski.
Playing some pool.
They're drinking
playing some billiards.
Yeah.
Dart boards.
On dartboards, all right.
For soccer, table soccer. Mason, after 6+ decades
Whoa.
in the industry, John Williams is retiring.
Good.
So he's
Good riddance.
he's 90 years old.
So he's been doing it since he was 30 years old.
Well, here's some of the things that he worked on. This isn't the first thing, but he worked on Lost in Space from 1964.
Wow.
He worked on Fiddler on the Roof from the 70s, Jaws, Star Wars, Superman, Indiana Jones, Jurassic Park, Harry Potter, my goodness. Well, and various other things like scattered throughout. Like he started in television and very quickly kind of, more in the 70s, he kind of transitioned over into big cinemas. And he's he's your go-to guy for if you want a big, bombastic and, some subtle cinematic scores.
But we don't listen to the subtle cinema. They disappear.
Yes.
Speaking of subtle cinematic scores, your children are screaming. Is that because of the thing you asked your wife to do?
Yes, I said scream at the kids and have
They'll
them
scream
scream
back.
back.
It's something to do. It's something to do on a weekend. We've seen all the movies.
That's
Just
right.
do some helpful screaming.
I took him to Buzz Lightyear and he won't stop not talking about it. We need something else to do.
We thought he would talk about it for at least the weekend.
Yeah, that's right.
And you could go, yes, I agree. But he hasn't said word one about it.
We should talk about the Buzz Lightyear box office, actually.
Yeah.
But anyways, this is a quote from John Williams. At the moment, I'm working on Indiana Jones 5, which Harrison Ford, who's quite a bit younger than I am, I think has announced will be his last film. So I thought, if Harrison can do it, then perhaps I can also. I don't want to be seen as categorically eliminating any activity, Mason.
Sure.
Categorically eliminating my any activity. I can't play tennis, but I'd like to be able to believe that maybe one day I will. So there you go.
You know what, John? I believe you can play tennis. Maybe his second career.
Yeah.
He's just out there. He's the first man to return one of those Serena Williams serves. This guy's incredible. He should have started 70 years ago. This is amazing.
I've told you a story about my friend from school.
No.
Who
I don't want to hear about any of your friends from school.
It'll be quick. I think it's quite funny. He's a guy who maybe lacks a little bit of self-awareness.
Oh, yeah, great.
Maybe he got hit in the head. I don't know what's going on with him. You know, I'll name him so you know.
Okay, great. Oh, yeah.
But he was talking about, he's like, yeah, no, I used to play tennis when I was a kid. I was really good. You know what I mean? I was quite talented. But then I quit. And we're like, well, why did you quit? And he goes, I kept beating everybody.
I'm sure.
So who knows where he would have ended up?
That's very true, yeah. He would have run through the entire population of the earth playing tennis. No one could defeat him, you know? And then you become the king of the earth because of how good you are at tennis playing. And
That's
then,
right.
No more worlds left to conquer.
Not with John Williams not playing.
That's exactly right.
Yeah.
I think John Williams should maybe take a page out of Danny Elfman's book. Just before he retires, he should do a set at Coachella and take his shirt off and we see all his weird tattoos.
And he's so ripped.
Yeah.
You see how ripped Danny Elfman was?
Yeah.
People are like, what's happened here? Great question.
What is great? I mean, he was in a rock. He was in Oingo Boingo.
Yes. A rock band. Yeah.
The rock band Oingo Boingo. That famous rock band filled with trumpets and saxophones and so forth. He's clearly...
He's done so... I mean, we'll probably end up... We don't often do music episodes, if ever, but I feel like we should definitely do one on like the work of John Williams.
Okay,
and
great.
It'd be a lot of us describing something and going, yeah, that's a good one, isn't it?
Yeah. We can't play it for various licensing purposes, but...
but we can hum it. Which is that?
Beetlejuice. Theme of Beetlejuice.
Did he do that?
I don't know.
Was that Danny
That
Elfman?
was Danny Elfman. Yeah, that's right.
Great. Let's quickly talk about Lightyear, though, because it massively underperformed. I think it's only at about, as of like Friday, but like 100 million worldwide.
100 million?
Yeah, 200 million budget.
That's
Some people
low.
are saying it's because it's too woke. I would say because it's just not really a great kids movie.
Do you think it's because Chris Evans' iPhone 6 finally packed in publicly and people were dismayed by that? And they're like, well, he probably didn't bring the full weight of his performance.
How is he running a 6? Like I was running a 6 till like 2014, 2015, and it was struggling. Yeah.
What probably happens is he sends text to an assistant who has a modern phone, and then that assistant like does modern day phone stuff.
Yeah, you might be right. Actually, I think I had it longer than that. I think I had it maybe even 2017, 2018, Mason.
Whoa.
What a years and what a phones.
Right?
Anyway, so Buzz Lightyear, look, I think it's also one of those things where I think it's like a number of reasons. I don't really think it's that tiny moment that I nearly missed where two women kiss. I mean, there was a similar kind of tiny scene in Multiverse of Madness, and that's like a $900 million plus movie, you know?
Yeah.
But anyway, whatever. I think it's like the last two Pixar movies have gone to streaming. I think it's probably going to do well on Disney Plus. It's also confusing as to what it is. I asked Claire, I'm like, what do you think this is about? And she's like, I don't know. And I'm like, it's the movie that Andy watched when he was a boy that inspired him to get the Buzz Lightyear action figure. And so it's the origin story of the action figure, but as an actual movie. And she's like, what?
Okay, but do you think that the general public cares about that? Because I feel like if you just said, there's a Buzz Lightyear movie. Oh, Buzz Lightyear from Toy Story? Yep.
Yeah, maybe
like
call it...
people are either going to see it or not. I don't think they're going to go, okay, but it's the toys are going to be the toy. Whereas the toy, I think they'd go,
yeah, I guess
maybe I'll
that's true.
see it or not.
Yeah.
Or
maybe they should have called it Buzz Lightyear, the character from Toy Story.
Right?
Yeah.
A Toy Story story.
That's right. Yeah, I don't know. Maybe it was the thing that Tim Allen didn't come back. I don't think it's that.
No, I don't think it's that either.
Yeah.
I mean, is it because families who would normally who in years past would have taken their kids to this kind of movie have gotten used to the fact that they appear on Disney Plus.
Yeah.
Like the last two are like, and they can just go, well, do you want to watch Turning Red again or whatever? And they go, yes. And then it saves them a trip to the cinema. Maybe.
Yeah, I think also when like 4 Toy Story movies already exist on Disney Plus all the extras, maybe you're just like, they can watch Toy Story at home. I'm not.
Yeah.
Taking the fucking Minions too whenever that comes out.
Let me ask you this question about Minions.
I'm ready. Here we go.
So on all the billboards and stuff, there's like 4 different Minions. There's like one with one eye.
Yep.
And there's a tall one and a short one and a fourth one. I don't know. Maybe it's a girl one. Are they individual characters, or does Steve Carell just like extrude a new minion whenever he needs one out of a pipe?
No, he doesn't. He didn't create them. They already existed. And if you've watched Minions, the origin movie, they existed like at the dawn of time. Oh. And they've been looking for a master.
They've been wearing goggles since the dawn of time?
Yeah, I don't know. Maybe it was like a fern goggle.
Maybe a fern goggle. Sure, yeah.
But they're not. I know they're kind of memed to death by boomers, and like people are kind of like, I hate these. They're not. They're pretty good movies, really, for kids' movies. They're pretty fun. Yeah.
But like, so the 4 Minions, they're specific ones, and people
there's
go,
like Kevin and the other one and
right,
whatever.
right, okay.
I know there's only. I can't remember the other names.
Okay, but there's definitely a Kevin.
They have names and goggles and
terrific.
fern goggles.
Do you think Kevin is named after Kevin Bacon?
He's named after Kevin Rudd, former Australian Prime Minister.
That's terrific. And the timeline works out there as well.
I agree.
Yeah.
There we go. This is by Deadline. It says that Lee Winnell is in negotiations. Lee Winnell, of course, recently did The Invisible Man. He also left The Wolfman recently because he's just like, what's a dead franchise that I can fiddle around with?
Sure.
What's the Dark Universe? You can fuck around with that.
That's nobody cares.
Well,
if it doesn't work, they just throw it on the pile, and then whenever anybody reminisces about the Dark Universe, they confuse your movie with another one that... It's like Robin Hood movies or King Arthur movies.
Exactly.
People are like, oh my God, that last one sucked. Who made it? I don't know.
Yeah. And
Guy Ritchie?
Do you mean, the last one or the...
Last one.
Yeah, the Russell Crowe one or the Taron Egerton one? Yeah. Anyways, he's going to be directing The Green Hornet and Kato, the movie.
Whoa.
Now, we got a Michael Gondry version of that with Seth Rogen and...
Jay Chow?
Yes. And I've seen that movie.
And Christoph Waltz is in
it. Oh,
it.
yeah, it was after
Yeah.
he'd done that thing that people liked him in.
But
it's okay.
Yeah, and so whatever Seth Rogen's character's name is, Britt or Brett or Brick or something.
Brack.
He's like
Steve Bracks. He was named after the Victorian
Premier
Labour Premier
oh
Steve
my
Bracks.
God.
The timeline lines up.
Timeline lines up. But he was like, like a useless playboy kind of character, and then
you got the Batman Arkham fighting skills. From Kato, who we fought
from
with.
watching the Arkham games.
So famously, Bruce Lee played him. Well, we saw that, of course, in Once Upon a Time in Hollywood.
Yeah, Bruce Lee played Kato, and then some other guy played.
Yeah, some other guy.
Brick Brickland.
Steve Bracks. Yeah, but
Britt Reed.
Yeah.
A wealthy newspaper publisher and the masked crime fighter known as the Green Hornet.
Cameron Diaz was in it as well. Anyway, I remember it being fine, but not great. But
David Harbour is in it.
Is he?
Says that here.
So Michael...
Edward James Olmos.
Almost?
He was almost in it.
Wow, there you go. Yeah, so the
cast.
Yeah, so the director of this, he did like Be Kind, Rewind, and things like that. And so, he's known for like really incredible, physical like props and recreate, and like the sweep that was shot and they'll pull things back and it looks like it's done digitally, but it's actually a really complicated.
Yeah. Well, he did Eternal Sunshine.
Yeah, exactly. Well. So that's a very good example of that.
And a lot of music videos, I think.
Yeah. So I remember they kind of, the studio like wrestled a lot of like power away from him and it kind of became this whatever movie. Yes. But I think there could be there's definitely something here, I think.
Yes.
That could be good. Yeah. And maybe you'd cast the guy who was Bruce Lee in Once Upon a Time in Hollywood.
Oh, sure. Yeah.
Whoever that guy is, whose name I don't know. But yeah, okay, do it. I love this trend of him resurrecting things that nobody cares about and that have failed.
Yeah, and that might be good.
It might be good, yeah.
So I guess the question as to whether or not it would be good is what company currently owns the Green Hornet?
Oh, wow.
I'm going to look it up because it might be Dynamite or something.
But I think it's more important like what studio has
What studio,
right?
yeah. Well, it's Sony. Yeah, it's Sony. So yeah.
No, they do some okay things.
Do they?
I feel like this is a small enough property where they'd just be like, whatever.
Yeah. Because the question becomes... And also, it's a hero.
Yeah.
So at the very least, the hero can do superhero stuff.
Yes.
As opposed to Oh, here's one bit of news, James.
Okay. Is it Sony Kraven news?
Yeah, it's James. It's Spum news. Yes. Spum's back in the news. The Sony Pictures universe of Marvel movies.
Thank God.
And here's there's been an interview with Aaron Taylor Johnson.
Was this via Variety?
This is from Polygon.com, but it's probably from Variety. They've
Sure.
probably repackaged it. They've repackaged it from Variety.
Well, we do that.
That's true. So the actor who stars as Kraven the Hunter in Sony's upcoming movie revealed more information about the film at the Cine Europe conference.
Oh, did you go to that this year?
Yeah, I was there. That's why.
Was it?
That's why I'm late or early.
Yeah. Okay. Time differences.
Yeah, I was very European.
Was it?
Very
What kind
cosmopolitan.
What kind of breads did they have? They had that swirly bread. You know,
Yeah.
it looks like two different types of bread in a loaf of bread.
What you know?
Marbled bread.
Whatever kind of bread you don't have in this house, that's the kind of bread they had.
I don't eat bread, Mason.
Well, they had every kind of bread. Oh my god, just a steaming big table of bread, just a big wooden table of bread, and good bread.
That sounds great.
It was great.
Maybe
actually.
next time you could get me an invite.
What are you going to? You stand around the bread table and not eat?
I'll eat the bread. I eat bread, Mason. I was joking, and I'll definitely eat a good bread on like I don't waste calories on just eating bread, like just pointless bread. I want good bread.
No, but I see what would happen there, I think, is you wouldn't appreciate the really good bread because you don't spend the remainder of the year like me eating terrible bread, just the worst processed bread. So I think that'd be a waste of an invite.
Could I eat a slice of terrible bread before I eat the good bread?
Yes.
Could I keep it in my pocket on the
You could
plate?
do that, yes. Just you have a nice piece of warm, squished bad bread and you can eat it beforehand. Yes, you could.
Right.
Okay, so Taylor Johnson at Cine Europe, which I was at,
Yeah.
had all sorts of gelato.
And breads, yeah. we know.
Bread and gelato. Little espresso.
Yeah.
Everybody had a little espresso.
Everybody?
Aaron Taylor Johnson took a little sip of his little espresso.
I don't
it
drink
says
coffee.
Here.
I don't think I would appreciate. Anyway, so we go on.
Well, you could keep a cup of 7-Eleven coffee. Like one of
In
those
my
start-
top pocket
in your top pocket
of my polo shirt.
And you can keep it in there and you can have a big swig of cold coffee before you have a good one. Anyway, he sipped his little espresso and he describes Kraven as one of Marvel's most iconic, notorious anti-heroes, Spider-Man's number one rival.
I would not disagree with that.
Anti-hero?
That I would, yeah.
A character he found particularly interesting because he doesn't have any superpowers. He's just a hunter, a human with conviction, an animal lover, and a protector of the natural world. He's a very, very cool character.
Now, you just kind of brushed past something in there, though.
What's that?
And that's about he's an animal lover and a protector of the natural world.
Yeah, there we go, yes.
Because my memory of him, before I go into my mind,
Go
I'm
into your
like,
mind
what am I
palace,
looking
sure,
at?
yeah. You're looking at bread.
Yeah,
and
I'm
you're wishing
I'll
for
push that
bread.
aside.
Okay.
You know, like Sherlock.
No time for bread.
And he's wearing a big lion-faced vest.
Yes.
So what are they going to make it? Bloody tofu? Bloody kale vest,
He's going to have a bloody
Mason?
kale vest, mate.
I mean, there are...
Yeah, that's the absolutely insane part of this.
Yeah.
I don't know if it was pitched to Aaron. I wonder if Aaron Taylor Johnson is like a vegetarian.
And you know what I think it is?
Yes.
The Sony Spider-Man villains aren't actually villains.
Oh, yeah, no, for
because
sure.
they're trying to make a hero universe.
Yeah. I mean, that's it. I wonder if...
They can't have a guy shoot
No.
a bunch of lions and then be like, I'm a good guy.
Do you think they've pitched it to Taylor Johnson as he's a hero and he's an animal lover and all this sort of stuff? Yeah, I think most likely. But yeah, like the whole premise. Look, I don't. We've talked about this before, and I don't want to beat a dead horse. A thing that Aaron Taylor Johnson's Kraven the Hunter would never do because of how much he loves animals. But the whole vibe of Kraven the Hunter, he does have a dead lion's face on his chest. He's killed every.
He's bored.
He's killed every big game in the world with his bare hands.
Yeah.
And there is no more challenge. And the reason he's Spider-Man's number one rival is because he wants to kill Spider-Man because Spider-Man is the most dangerous game.
Yes. Russell Crowe's in this, but he's also Zeus.
He's also Zeus.
And those universes might be connected.
Yeah.
I don't know.
But it's wild.
Yeah. Okay.
They're like, yeah, well, let's try to make this guy a good guy. Why in this universe then is he Spider-Man's number one rival? Are they rivals in terms of crime fighting? Are they both doing too many good deeds and crime fights?
Yeah, they're saving so many animals each. It's going to be a saving animals contest.
Oh, that sounds terrific.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, look, anything can work, obviously. But
Sony has a bad track
I
record
don't
of
like
that.
this trend of Sony just being like, but actually he's a good guy. Just make him a bad guy. Make him a guy who shoots lions.
Or
That's
even why isn't there a Prowler solo movie? At least they've got form. He's in the Spider-Verse movie and in the video game. And he's, in the mainstream Marvel universe, he's a former villain turned hero. At least there's precedent there, and maybe some storylines that they could mine from.
Exactly.
But this, what are you doing? Come on.
So
You're right. What's the vest going to be?
We've seen the onset. Well, I've got a quote here, and because you've probably seen this.
Isn't the onset photos he's just wearing like a white button-up shirt and he's running down the street?
In a furry coat or whatever. It says, there's another quote from this event, which you would have heard because you were there. This one is shot
I was too busy stuffing my ears with bread.
Why?
Yeah, well, I've got to...
It's Europe.
I've filled up my pockets with bread. I didn't have enough room for more bread. So.
Fair enough. This one is shot entirely on location.
Ooh.
Very impressive. That doesn't really mean anything.
In New York City, baby.
Yeah, I guess it is. But like, if he's a good guy and he's saving animals, he's not fighting Spider-Man. What is this?
And where's the? I don't care about any other things, James. How's he get the vest? Is his father? You know what? I bet it's his father's vest.
I think Russell Crowe plays his father.
I bet it's his father's vest, and his father was a big game hunter, and he killed the lion. And then at the end, he's going to put the vest on and he's going to be like, this is a reminder for me to love all the animals.
Oh, God. His father's playing Nikolai Kraven. Okay. So I guess it's his father, I'm assuming.
Right.
Well, I love movies, and I will never stop loving movies, even movies which will be bad. Though, the director of this, he did the movie A Most Violent Year, which is apparently a very good movie, which I haven't seen. But he also did Triple Frontier, which is a movie I also saw for Netflix, and it was fine.
That's terrific. Does that have a Brolin in it?
Maybe. It's got Ben Affleck in it.
Terrific.
And the guy from The Predator. He's in Wolverine with a robot hand.
Oh, yeah.
Oscar Isaac is in it, I think, as well. It's a really good cast. It's got that classic thing, which I love of Netflix. There's a new one at the moment, which is Kevin Hart and Woody Harrelson. It's like two great actors who are mates in a boring movie.
Terrific, yes.
The Rock and Ryan Reynolds.
The Rock and Kevin Hart.
All of these movies. The
Rock and Ryan Reynolds
The Rock and Roll, Mason. Is there a poster in that? Two great mates, boring movie. Two great actors, boring movie. What is it, Mason? It's something like that, isn't it?
Something like that, isn't it? Yeah.
Weekly Planet Posters guy will sort it out when he eventually gets around to that. This bit of news, Mason, is via the Christian Harloff YouTube channel, who you might know from the Schmoes. No, you might know him from Collider. He has a scoop, it seems, but to be considered a rumor, that Cal Kestis, who you might know from the Fallen Order video game, there's a live-action Star Wars series in the works starring Cameron Monaghan, plays Cal Kestis.
Whoa.
And his likeness of Cal Kestis is used in the video games. Apparently he's signed on, so it is happening, but no production date has been set. I would love that.
I would love it also.
And I mean, they could do all of the, all of the action sequences they did in that game in live action, but they already did that in Obi-Wan. So they're going to have to think of new ideas.
Do you think, if this comes to fruition, do you think it'll just be a retelling of the video game, or do you think it'll be a new?
I think it'll be a further adventure of, because that's how they do it. You know what I mean? They kind of don't really double do a thing. So except for Obi-Wan, which did a lot of the things that the game did.
Correct, yes.
But no, I think he's great. And, I actually, we follow each other on Twitter, so I could message him and be like, tell me if this is true. Tell me the truth. But I wouldn't dare put him in such a predicament, Mason. But I hope this is true, because those games are great. Well, actually, the first one's great, and the new one's coming out next year. Is that right?
We cannot say.
We cannot say, and we
could
will
ask
not
him.
say.
You could ask your friend Cameron Mike.
Tell me where that game is. Give me a copy now.
Send me a copy.
This is why you don't follow people, because they message you these things. I'm the reason.
Yeah.
You know when you do that, follow somebody and then they send you a weird message, and you're like, oh, have you ever had that happen to you?
No, I don't think so.
Yeah. Anyways.
Name names, James. Tell me who they followed you and then they send you a weird message, James.
Actually, well, it hasn't happened to me in a long time, I should say. So I've recently been talking to you over DMs. I'm just thinking, if someone's listening to this and be like, is that me? It's not you. If you're self-aware enough to be like, is that me? It's definitely not you.
Okay, right.
Yeah.
If you're like, that couldn't be me. It's you.
It's you. Great, Mason. Do you like Game of Thrones?
No.
Great. So this is via George R. R. Martin's blog.
Oh.
So here we go. They asked him. This is about they didn't ask him. He told us about his involvement in what's coming up. He said for the Jon Snow show, he said, I am involved, just as I am with the Game of Thrones prequel in the works, the Hedge Knight and the Sea Snake and the 10,000 Ships and all the animated shows.
He's just saying things at random now, I think. 10.
And the duck gun.
He says 10.
And the boat with legs.
Oh, there's 10 ships. And people are like, not very impressive. 10,000 ships.
and the Mead Fields.
Made fields.
And the Dragon's Breath next brother. I'm looking forward to that one.
Yeah, same.
It's a prequel, obviously.
Yeah.
So Kit's team have visited me in Santa Fe and worked with me and my own team of brilliant, talented writer consultants to hammer out the show. This man will do literally anything to not write a book.
Absolutely.
Just it's that night before kind of something's due and you're like, maybe I'll clean the house. Maybe I'll put some washing on.
You know what? And it's probably also the equivalent of like when you make you're going to meet a friend or something, and you're like, I actually don't want to leave the house today. Oh, I don't want to leave the house today. I don't want to leave the house. Maybe I could come up with an excuse. Maybe I could say I'm sick, and then you get a text. It's like, oh, sir, I'm sick. I can't make it. And you're like, yes, it's that. He's like, oh God, I got to announce the book. When's the book? Oh, another project.
Excellent.
Jon Snow.
I'm involved in that.
I'm involved. I'm 100%.
They came to me actually. I didn't ring them desperately asking to be involved. Anyways, I'm sorry if you love those books. You're never going to read them.
Yep.
When was the last one? 2011 or something?
Maybe, yeah.
Yeah, great. Good stuff. Do you think it's this is Marvel Corner, Mason.
Oh yeah.
Two mates.
Is this new? Or have we always had Marvel Corner?
Two popular, well-known actors who got a really big paycheck, which then cut the budget of the entire project for this Netflix movie that isn't very good.
You're gonna have to narrow it down.
I'm just doing
that's
a poster.
the poster.
I'm
Okay,
still
right,
workshopping it.
Okay, right.
There's something there, Mason.
Yeah, there sure is. Yeah.
Two famous guys, boring movie. Well, something like that.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah.
Yeah. Both holding guns. Yeah. One's wearing a hat.
One guy he's also in Marvel movies, and there's a poster, and it's another Amazon show that he's on. And there's two people wearing baseball caps and one person not wearing a baseball cap, and it's got a really vague name.
Yeah. One of them's sort of...
It's a Chris Pratt show. It's
a Chris Pratt show or whatever. One of them's sort of like wearing an Hawaiian shirt with a singlet underneath, you know?
Yeah.
It's kind of like Max Payne 4, like that kind of look.
One guy's all tactical.
One guy's tactical.
Hang on, I'll find it.
One might be Jamie Foxx.
Nice.
But not always.
It's called The Terminal List.
Yes, I haven't watched The Terminal
It's not
List.
out yet, I don't think.
Well, that's probably why I haven't watched it.
It's based on it's soon to be a TV series it's a novel by Jack Carr. If you like Vince Flynn, you'll love this.
I don't
That's
know
what the poster says.
What's Vince Flynn?
I don't know if... Oh, my God. Everything about this I love. If you just Google The Terminal List, it comes up. It's one of the first results. I guess it's the cover for the book.
Yep.
But it's impossible to tell who wrote this or who's in it because they all have action movie sounding names. So the author's name is Jack Carr.
Yeah. So that's not the name of the book.
And if you like Vince Flynn, you'll love this. But is Vince Flynn a character or is he also an author?
Yeah.
But then it says...
Also, is that like Jack Carr as in like the hero's name? Jack Carr in The Terminal List.
No, Jack Carr I think is the author's
name.
I don't know what the character's name is. But then there's a pull quote. It says, so powerful, so pulse-pounding, so well-written, rarely do you read a debut novel this damn good. And that's from Brad Thor. And he's a #1 New York Times best-selling author, so they're all getting into this.
That we know.
Yeah,
like that guy,
Brad Thor.
The only person on the book who it's clear who they are.
Yeah.
Well,
and this guy, he's sort of standing moodily. He's got a big coat on. He's running down some... Well, they might be tram tracks.
Wow.
Right? Maybe he's in Europe.
You want to keep him vague on the cover so then you can change the cover for when the Chris Pratt show comes out. Based on the series that you didn't like very much. Based on the series your dad recommended to you.
Brad Thor's loving it.
Anyway, I could never write a book or make a show, so I don't know why I'm making fun of these people.
Because we can.
Because we can. All right, let's move it along. It's Marvel Corner, Mason.
Oh, Joe Courtney's in it.
Oh, there you go.
Yeah, right.
So Marvel's Multiverse of Madness is now streaming. There's a dog at the goddamn door.
Ollie. Hello, Ollie.
This is Chaos Week, Mason.
Wait, Ollie.
Oh, she had a bath.
Oh, that's why you don't stink as badly.
Mm.
You still stink a bit.
I like to think that I still stink.
Yeah.
Thanks. Thank you so much.
Okay, she's running away.
All right, Ollie, you got to go out.
Oh, hello.
Ollie, I have to go away for the weekend.
Oh,
you have to record the podcast.
You're so fragrant, Ollie. Bye, Ollie. Look now, I'm a dog.
Oh, and you're covered in dog hair now because it's a wet dog.
It's a wet dog.
You idiot, Mason. Anyways, so it's streaming. I didn't know it was streaming so soon, but it's out if you wanted to watch it on Disney Plus for free, Mason.
I've already forgotten what we're talking about.
Multiverse of Madness.
Oh, yeah, it is too. Yeah, I looked that up and I'm like, oh, this is probably going to be $24.99 or whatever. But it's free.
It's free. You don't need to cost you any money.
No cost you any money.
So there's been some behind the scenes stuff that has been put up, including like blooper reels and whatever. But the thing that stuck out to me was that black bolt suit is entirely CGI.
It is. Anson Mount was wearing the dot suit.
I guess it's cheaper and easier to hide if you don't have to spend months like designing and fitting a suit. And then he has to be a certain shape and you can't lose or gain weight.
Yeah.
Because it looks very form-fitting. And looking back at it in that mask, it's so snug to his head that it's kind of obvious now that it would have to be CGI.
And it's sort of invariable that he would step out for a minute to have a bloody smoke at the back of the studio or whatever, and somebody snaps a photo and then it's being spoiled. That's interesting. But what is also interesting as well, I don't know if this is in the...
second bit of news.
Well, it's not a second bit of news, but I think it's interesting that... in addition to that, there was a lot of practical makeup effects. And the guy, I don't have the name here. It's like Brad something or other, but I'll find
He's done he did like the Green Knight.
Yeah, and he did Vecna. He's done Vecna in Stranger Things.
You watched that yet?
No, not yet.
You should watch it because the season finale's coming up and we should probably cover it, I guess. Yeah.
Very good. He did that. He did the Green Knight. He did all the horrible zombie makeup for Zombie Strange.
Yeah.
He's killing it, that guy.
Do you like him?
Yes.
Okay. That's all I have to say.
Same.
Yeah.
I'm going to go to Twitter and look up Brad Makeup and see if it comes up.
Brad Makeup.
No.
You might be getting into the YouTube makeup sphere.
Oh, yeah.
And then it's just people screaming at each other. Just being real catty to each other, Mason.
Hey, what's up? It's your boy Brad Makeup.
This is a video. I'm trying to cancel another makeup guy. They do that. It's mostly trying to cancel each other and they're all awful. And that's what I love about it. You know what else I love, Mason?
What do you love?
I love that we did a Thor Ragnarok commentary. It's now live at bigsandwich.co, leading up to the new movie, obviously. So if you do it, it's like our private Patreon. If you don't know, there's a huge back catalogue of other stuff. If you are interested, we're also starting Thor for Caravan and Garbage this week on Tuesday. But the Thor Love and Thunder reactions are in, Mason.
Go on. Barry Gower is the
Barry Gower.
He did Vecna. He did the Green Knight, that wacky Green Knight. He did the zombie makeup for Zombie Strange, and he did the Night King for Game of Thrones.
Oh yeah, he did too. Yeah. Those are all excellent. Yeah, fantastic stuff.
Yes.
Anyway, the reactions for the most part, Mason, very positive. Things like, this is the best Marvel's ever done. I laughed till I cried, and then I cried because of a different moment when there was a big emotion.
Oh, yeah, I love emotion.
So, obviously...
In fact, love itself is an emotion, I think.
Yes. I've seen some people say maybe it's too funny, like it tries to lean into the humour too much. And
nobody wants that. Nobody likes to laugh.
I hate humour, and I hate laughter, I hate fun, and I hate friends. Show's over. I just realised I don't know why I do any of this.
No! But fair.
Yeah, but... we're going to see it regardless, but obviously early days. Very, very positive word of mouth is good, but we'll see.
Yes.
Cold
hard reality
there's
and
so
observation.
There's so much free hot bread.
Yeah,
that's
true.
Events.
Yeah, you can't trust people once they're full of bread, you know what I mean?
Yeah, exactly. Go on a Friday night, your local terrible Cinemaplex, and see how much you like it then with screaming kids and
barely
someone
any bread.
kicking the back of your chair. Exactly. Drop your popcorn all over yourself. And then when you go to pick it up, you tip your drink into your lap.
And you're sitting there and some teen is like, hey, nice popcorn. And you're like, but you also have popcorn. And they're like, and you're like, oh, he's cut me to the core, this kid. Ah, no. How do they do it?
How do they do it?
I don't know.
So that's fun. Mm-hmm. Anyway, we'll see how it goes. A lot of it was also filmed on green screen in the volume because it was filmed right in lockdown. Yeah. So I've seen some some scenes have been released online this week, and some of it looks pretty ropey.
It sure does.
But, then again, it's different and whatever, and when there's not all the compression for...
What is it... Would you say it's The Mandalorian that is considered generally to be the best use of the volume?
Yeah, I think so.
I think... I believe it might be the cinematographer who's responsible for that, and who's decide. And it's, I guess, it's like any emerging technology where the first people to use it go, okay, well, the best things we can film on this are sort of approaching twilight time, and just sort of the near dark kind of look. That's how it looks the best. And they've gone, okay, well, let's do a lot of scenes in this show that are sort of around that time.
Let's stack up a bunch of crates as well.
Let's stack up some crates. Crates look great in the volume. But then later people are like, well, we could do any time of day with this. And it's like, well, can you?
Yeah. I think there's some really clever uses of any time of day. One of my favorite ones is when they're in Boba Fett's ship in season 2 of The Mandalorian. And you know how it does that? It tilts up, it flies vertical. And you see that from the inside, and the whole wall is kind of rolling up behind them. We also saw in the book of Boba Fett and I think this is the volume. where the Mandalorian episodes where he's walking down that street and he steps into the elevator.
Oh, yep.
And then he like goes to a different level and it's all like one shot. I'm pretty sure that's all the volume as well.
Yeah, there you go, right.
So it can be done.
And I mean, also...
You just need to think about it.
And also, well, but also I think Twitter is very good at picking the absolute worst frame of anything and going, the whole movie is going to be like this. This is terrible. I mean, I hate it. I hate everything.
I'll kill you. Yeah. And so on. Great. Mason, this is by Games Radar. Radar?
What?
Games Radar.
Oh, sorry.
Yeah.
I didn't know you meant Games Radar.
Yeah. Games Radar, for anyone paying attention. Who, you know I'm an idiot and you don't know what I'm saying. I'm saying Games Radar. This is by Kevin Feige. He says, and as we're nearing the end of Phase 4.
I think he's named after that minion.
Oh, he might be. Feige.
Yeah, Feige. the times worked, you know.
Yeah, it makes it lines up, doesn't it? Yeah. As we're nearing the end of Phase 4, I was about to say, are we?
Yeah, I thought, didn't Phase 4 just get started?
Yeah.
Or it hasn't started?
But then again, there's been a million shows also.
There's been a million shows. Maybe this was the phase of shows.
Yeah. I think people will start to see where the next saga is going. I think there have been many clues already that are at least apparent to me of where the whole saga is going, but will be a little more direct. Funny people's like, where do you think the saga is going?
It sounds like he's fishing. Old fishing Feige here is like, I think if you look really closely at all the stuff in the background and look at all the corners and stuff, I think maybe if you like screenshot like a background and you can draw some lines, I reckon you could pretty confidently say where this one's going. You could even
send any ideas that you might have to my email.
I mean, because some people say we couldn't top the whole, the Infinity Saga, and it was just a whole thing and the whole real quest for all the stones and stuff. But I think if you look real hard, you could probably find something that's way better than that. And I know what it is, but maybe you could tell. I'm not going to do a competition where you should guess what it is.
No prizes.
You can have one of my hats.
We'll be a little bit more direct about that in the coming months to set a plan so audiences who want to see the bigger picture can see a tiny, tiny, tiny bit more of the roadmap. I still think it's big battle planet dimension time. Is that one called? Secret Wars. Secret Wars. Yeah. I think they're doing that.
Could be Secret Wars, yeah.
It is Secret Wars, Mason. They're doing all the multi-dimensional stuff. They've introduced variants and all sorts of shit. TV and movies, Do you
think they're saving some? Anytime there is a multiverse of madness, or there is a Spider-Man No Way Home, or what have you? Some people are like, what about this guy? Why isn't he in it? Yeah. Do you think they're saving some of those guys?
I think so.
Secret Wars? Do you think we're going to get like 1970s Nicholas Hammond Spider-Man?
I don't know
in Secret Wars, and he's like, I don't know what's happening here.
I'm white. No, my powers have dwindled dramatically. Don't make me do this. Don't make me fight Tobey Maguire.
My acting powers. I've never had to act against this much green screen ever.
That's probably true.
Please don't make me do this.
Yeah. It would be weird if they were just like, I don't know, it's Moreland. The bad guy's Moreland or whatever. Just like somebody completely irrelevant.
Moreland City Council.
It's Age of Ultron again. Ultron's back.
Yeah.
All that dimensional stuff was a red herring. Anyways, great stuff, Mason. Do you know what else I think might be great stuff? Let's talk about the Umbrella Academy.
Yes.
No spoilers, Mason. Okay. For season 3. You got really upset then. You were like, ugh. But you haven't even finished it.
I haven't finished it.
How far are you in?
Couple episodes.
What do you think the story was?
Oh, okay.
By the way,
there's a lot of build-up for this, isn't there?
Poor recap. Really vague on the...
Oh, but there's so much to it. You mean on Netflix when it goes previously on.
It's like
I had 2 seasons
and
to cover.
I'm like, what the fuck is... I don't... What?
There's so much to cover. Okay, so how far do we want to go back? Okay, so the Umbrella Academy is about on one particular day in the late 80s, a bunch of women spontaneously became pregnant and gave birth to children.
Yep.
And there was this guy called Arthur Hargraves?
Mr. Hargraves.
Mr. Hargraves, who was a sort of eccentric adventurer scientist. And by eccentric, I mean awful.
Yeah.
And he attempted...
We could spoil previous seasons, right?
I think so, right.
He's an alien.
Yes. And he acquired as many of these children as he could, 7 children, and they all developed weird superpowers, and he sort of turned them into a superhero team, and then he died. One of the team members died, and then the team broke up, and they never they were a family that didn't always get along.
Yeah.
And then they reconvened at his funeral at the start of season 1. And then in seasons prior to this, they've done all sorts of weird, crazy stuff involving time and dimension travel. They were trapped in the 60s for a while. Maybe one of them killed JFK, or maybe that's just the comic books.
They averted 2 different apocalypses that are linked.
Yes.
I think.
And then at the end of the last season, they came back to the present day only to discover that the Umbrella Academy never existed, and instead some Hargreaves acquired different children and started the Sparrow Academy. So now it's the Sparrow Academy versus the Umbrella Academy. And how's that gonna work out?
Right.
You know what I mean?
And the Sparrow Academy are basically, so all the children that were born on this day spontaneously, so people who weren't pregnant suddenly became pregnant and then gave birth. He saw the Umbrella Academy in the past and decided
when he met them they went to him for help in the 60s.
Yeah.
And he's like, oh, these guys suck. Classic Hargreaves, instead of being like, maybe it's because I raised them really badly. Yeah. He's like, oh no, it's probably because I just didn't purchase the correct children.
Yes.
And so he got.
He still
got. Yeah, he got. So how many? So the scroll, the opening narration suggests there were 16 children born on that day. How many has there been? Because there's there's the original 7.
Yeah.
But then the new team has Ben on it.
Yes, who was also in the original
team. So that's 13.
Yeah.
Right?
So there's
7 and 6.
Super strong guy, Crow's woman with magnetic lifty-uppy powers.
Guy who can redirect force.
Yep, a box.
A floating box and hallucinogenic spitting woman.
Yeah, so that's 6. So
Did you say
13.
Ben?
I said, yeah.
Okay, so that means there's 3 left. Have we seen them?
I don't
Were they in previous
think so.
seasons?
No, not to my knowledge.
Interesting.
Yeah. That might come into play, unless we've missed some.
We've definitely missed some.
Yeah.
Because again, there was that recap, there was so much going on in that.
Yes, it was not helpful at all.
I mean, it was helpful in the sense that I feel it. I don't know. I felt it gets you back into the vibe of the show.
Oh, that's sure.
Which is just insanity.
I mean, if you're going for vibes, sure.
Yeah.
I mean, you could have just spun a big wheel with some colors on it if you wanted a vibe.
But
anyway, I still think this show is a lot of fun.
I went back again. I only had time to watch 2, but this is maybe one. This is indisputably one of my favorite superhero properties.
Yeah, right.
Like in terms of movie or TV. I don't know if it's my absolute favorite, but it is easily up there with some of the best. It's just a fun dynamic. All the cast are really fun.
Yeah,
they work well together. I saw a video this week. It was like a Variety or BuzzFeed or something like that, where a bunch of the cast got together and did a quiz together, and they clearly enjoy spending time together and
that's
all
fun.
that sort of stuff. So, and I think that comes through on the show.
Yeah, no, I'd agree with that. I think you're not wrong in that sense. I also think that this season takes too long to get going on what the thing is.
Oh,
and when it does, I'm like, oh, I like this. This is all good. And not to say that I didn't enjoy it up to you figure out what is happening, because the real appeal of this show for me is all the people in it.
It's got that real appeal.
It's got that real appeal. And by the way, I like, a lot of shows on Netflix don't look like this anymore. They don't make stuff like this anymore.
Because it looks like something.
Because it looks like something and it costs a lot of money. And I think the only reason they still make things like this is because they'd already made previous seasons. I would not
but
be...
that wouldn't stop them from cancelling
this
one.
No, I would genuinely be surprised if they continue this. They should, because it's good. But I think there's a good chance that this is it, unfortunately.
Okay, without spoiling anything.
No, it would not be a satisfying conclusion.
Right.
I'm guessing. I don't know. It would all be down to their metrics and whatever that looks like. And we're not privy to any of that information.
I mean, we're not privy to that information, but we are privy to everything Netflix has done in the last few years.
Yes.
So yeah, I'm a huge fan of the cast. Like you said, the look is incredible. There's they're living in a weird hotel now, like a weird kind of
John Wick hotel sort of.
Sort of a very ornate John Wick hotel.
Yeah.
And what I love about the show, I think, is that it has become more or less unmoored from the comic book adaptation or the comic book version of it, the original version.
Yeah.
So it can kind of go anywhere.
Yeah, absolutely.
And I think I don't know, because it's Gerard Way and Gabriel Barr created it originally, and I don't know if they're actively making it different from the comic books, or if they've just said to the production team, you can change it if you want. But regardless, I enjoy the fact that I don't know where it's going.
Yeah.
And it's not, the difference between this and like a Marvel show is that I know, a Marvel show or a Marvel movie, is that there will be surprises along the way for a Marvel thing, but you go, okay, well, I know that this guy's going to, eventually this character is going to develop into this, or,
I know how many how many movies this person has left.
Yes, exactly.
I know who will or will not do a TV show.
Exactly. I know Steve Rogers is going to pass the torch over to the Falcon, and that's going to be a thing. And so it is, a lot of the time it is kind of, it's a little bit paint by numbers in that sense. But this, and also the fact that there is limited Umbrella Academy comic books, and the last time I read them was so long ago that I have also forgotten.
Yeah, absolutely.
But I like the fact that anybody in this can die, and we don't know, can the world end? When there's no.
Will you meet a different version of yourself and whatever, or a different version of somebody else? It seems. Yeah. One thing I think they handled very well, and this is not my experience, so maybe they handled it very poorly.
Maybe.
Well, was Elliot Page's transition.
Yes.
Because at the start, you see that it's Vanya, and then very quickly they kind of, and maybe it's a bit of a speedy transition, but it's TV, so it's kind of, I'd imagine you'd want to kind of move it along.
And I also think they wanted to show us, the audience, and also they wanted to show the characters coming into the conclusion that it's not a big deal for them. They want to, because the Victor shows up in a scene with the rest of the family and has cut his hair and says, "Oh, I'm Victor. I've always been Victor, but it's taken me a long time to realize it," etc. And they're like, "That's great, but also you're a dumbass because you did this thing earlier." So they're just like, we're a family and we accept that, but now let's move on with the overarching plot. And there was a little bit of, like dramatic strings and
definitely.
To the soundtrack.
And I'd imagine they went to Elliot Page and was like, "How do you want to handle any of this?"
And he said awkwardly, as awkwardly as you can.
Yeah,
that's what I want.
But I think the main purpose of it was the family was just like, all right, and I think that's kind of like that's
not the weirdest thing that's happened in this family, quite frankly.
That's also true.
I'm a gorilla man. I don't know if you know.
Yeah. So no, I thought that was handled really well. You're not up to it yet, but there's a bunch of like fantastic use of music in it, and one of them is a Cats in the Cradle. There's the song "Cats in the Cradle" is played by Cat Stevens with a death montage happening at the same time, which it's very funny. It's
great.
You'll enjoy it.
I love a death montage.
Yeah, it's very good. Yeah. And on top of that, there's a few characters that appear that down the line that I don't want to. I guess I don't want to spoil.
Captain America.
Chris
Evans.
Goes,
he's looking at his iPhone 6,
and he goes, "What the heck? What the heck am I doing in this show or whatever?" But yeah, I'll just say, okay, so the monkey reappears later down the line.
Well, he's in the trailer.
Yes, and okay, good. And also chimpanzee. But my God, I cannot get over how good that chimpanzee looks for a TV show. It doesn't make any sense.
Agreed.
And he's got like a different look. He's got like a biker vest and like tattoos and all that.
Nice.
Yeah, it's terrific. I guess my concern is also for this show, how many times, it's also been apparently like 28 days since the beginning of the show, like in universe.
So this is like I feel like the TV series 24.
Yeah.
My personal.
How many times can he do a 24?
Well, yeah, my personal headcanon is that every series takes place on a subsequent day.
Yeah.
So it's just been 13 days of him going like, "Oh, geez, I got another 24 days to save the world, do I?"
Oh, my heart stopped. Remember that season my heart stopped? Remember that season his heart stopped?
Yeah. Well, I don't mean yesterday. That's when my heart stopped.
So I don't know how long they're going to be like, it's the end of the world again. Yeah, and it seems like as if that's kind of the direction it's going to, still be going in the future. I think if they do any more seasons, I think it's just going to be one. I think I think that will be it. There's also some romance in it, which I really enjoy.
I also wonder if they're going to
tragedy.
I also wonder if they're going to maybe. Do you think? I wonder if every time this happens, I always wondered: does the studio who make this, can they extricate themselves from Netflix and put it on something else?
I mean, I don't know why you would. Because it's expensive, and I don't know whether that would get people to your streaming platform. That's
true, yeah.
I think the days of that are mostly over. Remember when Community went to Yahoo?
Yeah, sure.
And Netflix were making Arrested Development for a bit.
That's right.
And then like,
and went to Ask Jeeves.
Yeah.
You had to go to askjeeves.com for Arrested Development.
I mean, it's possible, but I think we're kind of past that period of bringing back stuff because it doesn't work for metrics. I think. I might be wrong.
Boo. I think boo.
Klaus is great though. Also,
he's your fave?
I think. Maybe
he's from Misfits originally, right?
Yeah, I've never seen. Misfits.
other things,
but he's in that Britain's on Wheels, the movie. Remember the one where about London's a big city and
the post-apocalyptic one. I just pictured just a really really boring movie about like logistical stuff in modern day London. Britain's on Wheels. People getting on the bus.
Yeah.
Going to the
Britain's on Wheels. Wow.
That is good stuff.
Thank you. Look, without going any further into any of the spoilers, I think if you've enjoyed the series, or maybe if you haven't seen the series as of yet, I think it's really good. And
Yeah, I definitely
if you love a weird hotel and a weird lobby,
look, and or if you're approaching, I think if you're approaching superhero burnout,
Yeah.
which I know a lot of people are, this is a breath of fresh air, I think.
and maybe give The Boys a go.
Yeah, sure. That's right.
We haven't watched the latest episode.
No, yeah,
I'll talk about it briefly in what we're reading.
Okay,
but,
terrific.
But yeah,
All right.
great.
That's not the final episode of the season, though.
No, there is at least another episode.
Whoa.
What are they up to? 4, 5? I actually don't know.
5 or 6.
Great. Oh, just quickly on the Umbrella Academy as well.
Go on.
What I think was also good about the Victor situation.
Did you find another note?
I found this is just something off the top of my head.
Off the top of the dome.
That it was just Victor just wants to exist as a person and be treated normally. Not you know what I mean? Just be
Yes.
like, hey, I'm a normal person. And could we just get on with it? Yeah, and I think that's reflective of a lot of people who just like, wait, don't be mean for no reason.
That's right.
I just want to exist. You know,
As opposed to us who are like, look at us.
look at us all the time. We've got a big podcast.
Who else can say that? Who's among us?
A lot of people.
Yeah, hundreds of thousands of people.
All right, should we move on to the next segment of the show?
Yes.
If there was somebody here that could tell me what the next segment of the show is, anybody at all, that would actually really help me move things along.
Hang on, I'll just have a look around.
Okay. He's actually pantomiming it, everybody. He's doing a big look around. Oh, he's pulling up the carpet to have a look under there.
Got my big magnifying glass out.
I'll just
Who's
play,
there?
I'll just play whatever this theme song is.
So it's what we read and what we're going to read.
It is actually. I'm doing the thing. Westworld? I don't know if you know this, Mason. Just
New season of Westworld's coming out
it's
very
coming
soon.
out soon, isn't it?
You seen any of the trailers?
Oh yeah, looks good.
Looks great.
Yeah, I've always liked that show.
Some people say diminishing returns.
Who said that?
Us, I think.
Yeah, and maybe that's true.
Like the last season, I didn't love, but I think it's going to be back on track for this new one.
All right,
I reckon.
all right.
I don't know if it's the final season, but
We'll find out.
we'll find out, won't we?
Anyways, it was the famous Hero-gasm episode.
Yeah.
From The Boys.
Now, this was one of those concepts from the original The Boys comic book that a lot of people said, oh, they'll never do this, or they shouldn't do this.
Maybe.
And the producers of this show said, we're going to save this for season 3.
Yeah.
We're going to settle people in with some normal head exploding or people going to other people's orifices or what have you.
Yeah.
And then we'll hit them with this. So, I haven't seen it yet.
Yeah.
How is it?
Well, I maybe I'm just desensitized to The Boys, but I wasn't, and knowing that it was coming, I wasn't that shocked by.
You spent so much time with the boys.
Exactly.
Boys.
Yeah.
So
We talk.
this is no weirder than any
mean,
night out you've spent with the boys.
There's more. I mean, yeah, maybe there's more of the kind of stuff like the gross out stuff and the nudity and the gore than you maybe typically get in an episode like condensed.
Okay.
But my favorite part of the episode is after, and I'm not going to say who is it for you or whatever, but there's a big fight.
Whoa.
And it's a really good fight. And I'm like, oh, I love this. Oh, a big fight. And it feels earned.
Okay.
And it's not just every week where
it's Huey fighting his dad.
Huey's fighting his
Just
dad.
punching his dad.
Yeah, stop calling me on my phone. Stop doing a FaceTime. Just do a regular call like a regular person. But they had to do it because it's Simon Pegg. And
Yeah.
You want to see that it's Simon Pegg, don't you? But no, if you're a fan of The Boys, I'm also enjoying that there are subreddits flipping out because they're like, Homelander's the bad guy. It's like, yeah, he's the bad guy.
Wait, what?
Yeah, because they're like, because a lot of The Boys is making fun of like capitalism and corporation and and certain factors of right wing culture.
Yeah, sure.
And there's some
But
people
what turned him around? Like what specifically about? Is it that
I think some of the creators have even come out and been like, yeah, he's Trump.
Right, but like what specifically about this season has made people realize that? Like if you didn't realize it 2 episodes into the first season, what is it that
I think because they've been saying, no, he's Trump.
Oh, like it's not
Homelander
an
is
in-show
Trump.
thing.
Not necessarily.
Okay.
Yeah.
Because in the most recent one
He
saw.
fell in love with a Nazi.
I mean, he did do that, but I mean, surely they should have picked up on that.
That's what's baffling to me, yes.
Right, okay.
Yeah.
Well, I would love to hear some more discourse on this. 'Cause
I don't want to hear anything.
No, that's I've made a bold statement there, but I don't believe in it.
What else are you getting into?
Well, I mentioned this to you earlier in the week, but I've watched a couple of episodes of a series that it's fascinating in that it exists, and I only heard about it because Rob Delaney has a small role in it.
Okay.
And he tweeted about it. And prior to this, I'm like, and then I'm like, oh, that's the thing, is it? Which is what there's so much stuff out there.
That's just happened.
Yeah. So I watched 2 episodes of The Man Who Fell to Earth.
Oh, you did talk about this. Yeah.
It's in Australia, it's on Amazon. I think it might be through Paramount.
Do you love it?
It's pretty good.
It's about Trump, Mason.
Oh, no! That means Donald Trump.
Sorry.
No. So in the 70s, David Bowie was in a movie called The Man Who Fell to Earth.
I'm David Bowie.
Exactly. That's every line. And he basically, I've seen it, but it's not really for me. It's like meandering in a way that like
70s sci-fi was before Star Wars?
Yeah, 70s sci-fi was before Star Wars. What's 78? So it might have been,
okay.
I think 78, something
Well, it was already in production.
Yeah,
before.
it would have been already in production, yeah. But he plays an alien in human form. He comes to Earth. He needs to sort of become a big-time businessman to acquire all the resources he needs to build a spaceship to take it back to his home planet and save his species.
Sick.
And then a lot of meandering. But then at the end of the movie, he ends up like an alcoholic and like really depressed. And
right,
like the world and humanity has kind of ruined him. And this isn't a remake of that. It's a sequel to that.
I love that.
Well, it's
legacy sequel.
It's wild that because like it's not like a movie that people are like, oh my God, you certainly must see that. But it's like it's very significant, and Bowie didn't do that many movies.
Yeah.
And like it was significant to him because there's some stills from that movie. I think one of his album covers is a still from that movie.
Okay.
But it's interesting that this came out with no fanfare at all. So it's a sequel, and it's got Chiwetel Ejiofor. It's got Naomi Harris from the Bond movies.
Yeah.
And Chiwetel Ejiofor plays a different alien who's come to Earth. Also.
I'm David Bowie, he says.
He says that. That's
what?
his only
That's the
line.
thing that he says as well.
And Bill Nye plays David Bowie's character from the original.
I was thinking the science guy or Bill Nighy.
Apparently Bill Nighy pronounces his name Bill Nye.
Well, too bad, because there's already a Bill Nye.
Bill Nye, so it has to be Bill Nighy.
Fair enough.
Yeah, and it's wild to me that there's so much stuff out there that just out. And there's like 10 episodes
and it's somebody's favorite show.
Yeah.
Like you, maybe.
I don't know yet.
He doesn't know everybody. Look, I'd love to talk more about shows. But you think maybe we should go to the next segment of the show?
We have all the time in the world. We could talk about more shows, James.
Look, okay, fine. I'll quickly talk about this. FD Signify has a new video on the manosphere.
What's the manosphere?
It's basically, it's that pull yourself up by your bootstraps, crypto bros, self-help, but it's just people spewing fucking poison to like young men in particular.
And you love that.
Yeah, that's what I love about it. That's what I'm saying. And he makes incredible videos. This is his second video on the manosphere. And it's like, all those, like Gary V and like your Jordan Petersons and whatever. And I know they're all not about the same thing necessarily, but it's mostly just broken men spewing bile at impressionable people.
And we're broken men spewing nonsense, which is different and good.
And bile.
A little bit of bile.
Anyways, if I've said any of those names and you're like, actually, I like those people, I think maybe you should watch this video.
Interesting.
Yeah. Anyways, go on, Mason.
Oh, it's time for letters, I think.
Yes.
Let's do some letters.
The classic one was letters, oh letters, we love you, some letters.
We get some rhythm going in the show, aren't we? It's like the movie Whiplash in here.
We're going to do letters.
It's like the movie Whiplash, but we would do that, and J.K. Simmons' character would say, that is perfect tempo.
That is perfect
You've
tempo.
done it.
Exactly.
I have no notes, he would say. Because how good that was.
Can you imagine a mashup movie where it's Whiplash,
Go on.
but it's J.K. Simmons teaching the character of Whiplash from Iron Man 2 how to play the drums, and he keeps using his big whiplashes.
Whiplashes.
And he's like, you keep whiplashing the drum kits.
You're destroying them with some sort of energy.
Do you think
That's not my tempo, he would say.
Do you think that's anything? Is at the very least a fun poster?
Are you trying to start a second career as something? I don't know what it is. An Imagineer. That's what you are.
For the Weekly Planet posters, yes.
Right. It seems like more work than is strictly necessary.
I'm not saying it has to be, but I'm saying, can you imagine it as a poster?
I can imagine it, yes.
It
is not unimaginable to me, James.
In the letter segment of the show.
Because I am an Imagineer.
That's true. You can send a Gmail to weeklyplanetpod@gmail.com to Mason, or a tweet to me at Weekly Planet Pod on Twitter.
Sure
Let's
can.
go, bro.
This is from Anne.
Hello, Anne.
She says, shout out for my fiance.
Whoa.
Hi, guys. I was a terrible fiance this year. I bought him birthday presents and completely forgot the one thing he wanted for you to give him a shout out on your show. Could you please help me make it up to him by giving him a shout out? His name is Mike Parsons, and we are from Dallas.
I would like to know what the presents were so we can compare whether what we're doing now is better than the presents. Because what if you got a good super soaker? Like one of a really good water pistol.
Yeah.
How sick would that be? And that would be better than this.
Especially in Dallas. It's very hot in Dallas.
Oh my God, yeah. And you could fill it with cat piss and hit like someone you don't like with it. That's
Right.
a gift, mate.
That's
This is not a gift.
Yeah, that's very true.
Anyway, happy birthday.
It doesn't say happy birthday.
Oh, what's the shout out for then?
Just a shout out.
Well, what's the presents for?
Oh.
Guess
that's a
he
good
said
point.
got him what he really wanted.
Oh, that's a good point. No, that is true. Well, I don't know.
Shout out.
Yeah, shout out.
Vague shout out.
Shout out. But let's make it a birthday.
Congratulations.
Congratulations on birthdays and engagements and so forth. She says, I started listening to you guys because Mike would put the episodes on while we cook.
Nice.
I have to admit, I was skeptical at first.
Right, rightfully
but
so.
we're hilarious. Ooh.
Her and Mike.
Yeah.
Great.
Yeah, that's great. Anyway, much love from Dallas.
Thank you very much. This is from Lockie Quirk, who says,
That's a great name.
I agree.
I mean, Anne's name is also great, but...
I mean, Lockie Quirks is on Twitter, so I don't know if this is.
Oh,
his real
yeah.
name. Do you think Disney will remake the OG trilogy of Star Wars, that is, in 10 years or so, with the new cast from Mr. Kenobi? New Luke and Leia, bring back Ewan McGregor, and even Alden Ehrenreich for the remake. # Weekly Planet Pod. Now, they shouldn't do this.
Correct,
But
yes.
I would be lying if I said I wouldn't love an attempt just to see everything around it unfold.
Yeah, okay. Oh, just the real world production of that. Okay.
And what does that look like?
It wouldn't shock me.
They
I don't
remake.
think they would dare remake
I
the
don't
original
think so
trilogy.
either.
Yeah, I think it would probably be more likely that they would, if they're going to re-release anything. If they're going to release anything, rather, I think they'd re-release the original trilogy, like the unaltered trilogy.
Yes.
That would be, they'd build up to it. Maybe that would be the big build-up.
Yeah.
But what I think they might do is they might get those actors, if they're still acting in 10 years, and do like Luke and Leia's Little Adventures.
Luke and Leia do a little
Not together,
adventure.
probably separately.
Yeah.
And just, or one or the other.
Yeah.
And just be like, Luke's at Little Adventures on Tatooine or what have you.
He found all of Uncle Owen and Aunt Beru's guns.
That's right.
And he's run into the sand dunes to kill some Ewoks or whatever.
Oh, no. No one's told him there are no Ewoks on this planet. He read about them in a book.
A hollow book.
A hollow book.
Yeah, that's right.
The book was hollow because it's got a gun in it. Aunt Bruce put all kinds of guns everywhere.
We did Kenobi review, by the way,
That's
for the
why.
last episode.
That's why Luke had to go into town to get some more power converters because all the other ones on the farm were filled with guns.
Great stuff. Yeah, I don't think it's the end of Ewan McGregor or even Alden Ehrenreich. I think, these people will probably appear. And probably not the remake. But again, love to see it. What else, Mason?
Let's see here, James. Let's just see here. Oh, well, according to John Deere Mower, we've won a John Deere mower.
Have we?
So that's good. We should collect that John Deere mower.
Didn't they do the big labour union strikes and all those things? And people wanted more money? And then eventually they made them get more money?
I don't think John Deere did that. He's probably been dead for a couple of decades.
A deer got him.
Correct, yes.
That's great.
That is great.
Imagine being eaten by a deer. Crazy. Go on, Mason.
Okay, let's have a look here.
I can go while you're waiting.
Please do.
From Ian Cook, # Weekly Planet Pod. Hi. I recall James saying that Voltron was his first memorable TV show. That's true, and it's not very good. The first one, that is. The remake is incredible. Astro Boy was one of mine. Any idea why there hasn't been more Astro Boy content? Was it not as good as I remember? He has a laser in his butt. It's more of a machine gun. But that is true. You used to have an Astro Boy kind of like carrying thing, didn't you?
No.
Yeah, it had like a little holographic Astro Boy thing on it. It was like a case.
Nope.
I remember this.
I don't think that's true.
You did, Mason.
I don't have
Well, one of us
memory.
did. Yeah.
Sure.
Anyways, I like Astro Boy. There was Astro Boy movie a few years ago. They did an animated movie.
Oh, yeah.
Nicolas Cage was the doctor, I think, or whatever. Astro Boy's dark as well.
Yeah.
But why hasn't there been more Astro Boy?
That is a great point. He probably doesn't test well for some reason. But you'd think he would.
Yeah.
Because he's got the big eyes and the laser in his bum or whatever.
Yeah, that's right. All of those things.
And lasers in his fingers. It's all lasers.
It was also
all the
like,
time.
he did a lot of early proto-anime stuff. So like Astro Boy became, there's so many other things that have since then
That's a
happened
really
since
good
then.
question.
Yeah.
I mean, maybe it's just maybe the test bed was the animated thing and they went, oh, people didn't watch this, so
Yeah.
they don't like him for some reason.
Also, he's brave and gentle and wise. Why wouldn't people like him?
Probably the laser in his bum.
That's dangerous. So, I don't know. I'd like to see more Astro Boy content. There's been some video games as well, haven't there, that maybe weren't great?
I've never seen an Astro Boy video game.
Yeah. Anyway, what else, Mason?
Let's see. This is from Brian. Graduation shout-out. We're doing all shouts and all shout-outs
My
week.
goodness.
Think about that. Hey, James and Mason. I teach film in the senior grades of high school, and while talking to a student the other day, I found out he was also an avid listener to the pod. Since he's one of my favourite students I've taught in my years teaching, I was wondering if you could wish Ruben best of luck in film school and congratulate him on finishing high school from Mr. Chambers.
Well done, Ruben, for finishing high school and film school, and to Mr. Chambers.
We're congratulating him in advance on finishing film school?
Yes. Well, teachers play a pivotal role also, Mason. Do you not want to congratulate a teacher for the hard work that they've done?
I feel our podcast is thanks enough.
I agree, especially if you pay us for it.
Yep.
Yeah. There was
not for a big sandwich or anything.
No. Just cash.
Mail us some cash.
There was a 2009 Astro Boy, the video game, based off the movie. It has an average rating of 4.3 stars out of
10 stars?
4.3. Wow, it's really good.
That's a perfect score.
Out of 5.
Really?
Apparently. But then IGN gave it a 4 out of 10. You can't trust user reviews or IGN or anybody. I think it was a platformy, side-scrolly thing, was it? I'm just going to look now. Anyways, anything else, or should we give it a minute?
Let me find one more. Let me find one email.
Oh, this looks terrible.
What's that?
The game.
Oh, no.
He's not even
What is
flying.
it? Is it a platform game?
Platform game, yeah. It's a 2009 platformer. Yeah, no, it's all right, actually. Anyways.
Okay.
Mason, I'm ready to pack it up. Pack it in.
No. I got to find one email.
Back it up, pack it in. Let me begin.
No.
Okay, while you're doing that, this is from Miss Cons True Ed, who says, briefly rejoined a dating app and was chatting to some bloke. I sent him a photo of me in my Weekly Planet, #WeeklyPlanetPod t-shirt, and he made no comment about it, blocked and deleted, loser. I agree.
That's true.
But
I think finding true love, not as important as
supporting the show.
That's true, yes.
Yeah, exactly. Also, this podcast isn't that popular, so there's a very good chance that you might meet somebody great who might not know who we are.
Maybe wear a Joe Rogan Experience t-shirt. Maybe that'll get a little something there.
Oh, you'll definitely get some kind of reaction.
Yeah. I mean, you can just get our t-shirt,
Yeah.
buy one of our t-shirts and cross out Weekly Planet on it and write Joe Rogan Experience on it, you know? And draw us taking DMT.
That's right. Yeah. Perfect.
Yeah.
Anything else,
I'm
Mason?
going to find one more email.
Mason, I got to get out of here. I don't have time for your tomfoolery, absolute silliness that you've got going on in here.
Yes. Okay, here's one more shout-out, James.
Let's do it.
Shout-out episode.
Let's do
this
it.
From Chloe.
Hello, Chloe.
Your biggest fan's birthday shout-out.
What?
Hello, lads.
My mum?
Yeah, that's right.
She hates this show.
And us.
Yeah.
Me, mostly.
Yeah, you.
I mean, a lot more when I was young, but she seems to have mellowed a bit.
Anyway, you don't see her as much.
No, that's true. That's probably why. Hello, lads. Hope you're having a brilliant week and the babies and trams are doing well.
Yeah.
They are. Please, could you wish my wonderful boyfriend, Samo, a happy birthday? He listens to you guys every week and runs around singing the letters song. It's not annoying at all, so I think it will make his day to have his own letter. I realise now that makes him sound like a child, but he is in fact turning 25 and just very excited. He's the best person ever and deserves a birthday that's just as good, so this is me trying my best. Thank you. If you guys are ever in England, Samo will gladly make you a cuppa. From Chloe and Soup the cat.
Well, thank you so much, Chloe and the cat.
P.S. His birthday is 2nd July, but reading this out anytime is great, thank you.
That's right, that's coming up. So that's not a problem at all. That is actually going to be, Mason. It's coming up this week on the 2nd of July, isn't it?
Yes,
it's
it absolutely is. Yes, terrific.
Next Saturday.
That's correct.
Wow, that's the show. I need to go on a really long drive, Mason.
I don't.
Folks,
thank you so much for listening to the show. We definitely, absolutely 100% appreciate it. We wouldn't be here without yous. Thank you for subscribing. Thank you for telling your friends about the show. Thank you for leaving a 5-star review on your podcast platform of choice. That's how we get some new listeners. James, you got any 5-star reviews there?
I actually don't, no. So do the rest of the thing and then I'll come back to it.
Okay, get those at the end. Folks, if you want to contact the show, you can go to weeklyplanetpod at Gmail, at Facebook, at Twitter, at Bandcamp. You can go to the Planet Broadcasting Great Mates Facebook group. You can go to the Weekly Planet Pod subreddits and Discords. You can follow our friend Rob Collins over at The Weekly Planet on Twitter and at Raw Collins on Twitter. You can follow me on Twitter at Wikipedia Brown. You can follow me on Instagram at Nick Maso. James is Mr. Sunday Movies everywhere. If you want to support the show, you can go to patreon.com/Mr. Sunday Movies. You can chuck in a buck, or in fact, any amount you wouldn't miss. That is the key there. But if you're a big spender for $9 per month, you can go to bigsandwich.co. We've got all kinds of bonus podcasts and movie commentaries and early videos and all kinds of stuff over there.
Over where?
Over there. Also, thank you to the Brute and the Basilisk and Rackham for all our musical themes. You can get T-shirts on TeePublic weeklyplanet.com. You just search for the Weekly Planet over there.
That's so
Just
easy.
pick a weird one.
Yeah,
Pick
pick a
weird one,
weird
get
one.
Then go on a dating app.
Yeah.
And demand people
Recognize it.
recognize it.
Yes.
Yes, perfect.
I'm with you.
Nice.
Right. Yeah, as mentioned, that Thor commentary is up, ready to go. And I'm just getting one more review. Here we go. It's annoying because when I pop them into my Google Doc, I have to change the font's white. It doesn't matter if you can't read it, but anyway, I did. This is a 5-star review. You can just do it in-app from Gav, who says, fantastic podcast. This podcast helped me get through lockdown in my city, and it's absolutely hilarious. Also, I can't hear Tom Holland without thinking about Mason's Tom Holland voice. Thanks for ruining Spider-Man for me. I may have read that out last week. But here's one new one from Brennan, who says, the best review, James. This podcast is Shrek-tastically a pig rolling down a hill.
That is so true.
Perfect. Next week, we're going to do a bit of a Star Trek thing.
Yes.
And other things also.
That's right.
We'll talk about that,
Heck
though.
yeah.
Heck yes. Thanks, everybody.
Grab that Jamie, guys. We'll see you next week.
Goodbye.